Bhujangasana, Serpent Pose. Jane begins by lying on her belly with her legs stretched back. She places her hands slightly below her shoulders with the palms facing down. Then she begins lifting her back. As we look at Jane's pose, we can see her legs have separated and rolled out. Her arms have rolled in, taking her shoulders toward her ears, and her head is thrown back. She's pushed herself up with her arms instead of lifting with her back. Let's have her come down and try again. This time Jane stretches her legs out behind her, keeping her feet close together and her legs rolled in. She pulls her hands back and lifts her elbows. She presses her hips and thighs into the floor as she stretches her hips to her heels. Then she lifts her chest away from the floor while keeping her feet on the floor. Her arms roll out, pulling her shoulders down and back as her hands rest lightly on the floor. Jane pulls back through her toes as she presses forward with her chest, using her arms for balance. She wants the arch to continue for the entire length of her spine. As the arch reaches her neck, Jane lifts her head to look straight ahead. To exit, Jane slowly releases the grip in her back and lets herself sink to the floor. She releases her arms to rest by her sides and turns her head to the other side. Let's watch Jane's skeleton in Bhujangasana. As we look at her initial pose, we can see her neck has bent back, her legs have separated and rolled out, and her shoulders have rolled forward and up toward her ears. She's holding herself up with her arms instead of her back. Let's have her come down and try again. Jane pulls her hands in below her shoulders and lifts her elbows. As she lifts her back, we can see the arch includes her whole spine. She wants to use her arms for balance as she presses her feet and hips into the floor. Jane wants to keep her feet close together as her legs roll in and stretch back. She rolls her shoulders down and back away from her ears as her hands rest lightly on the floor. Jane pulls back through her toes as she presses forward with her chest. She extends through her neck to lift her head. To exit, Jane slowly releases the muscles in her back and lets herself sink to the floor. Then she releases her arms to rest by her sides and turns her head to the other side.